Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. This is Joe with the Local Search Association, and I would like to welcome all of you to LSA's webinar series. Today's webinar is titled Managing Local Listings to Drive ROI for National Brands, and will be brought to you by our guest presenter, Bill Connard from Rio SEO. With that, let's get started. Over to you, Bill.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you having me on the webinar today. So for the first 20 minutes or so, I'll share my background around local SEO. Just joking, 20 seconds maybe at the most. I've been working in local SEO since 2003, prior to maps even showing up on the SERP. So I spent a lot of time in the local SEO industry, managing 140 retail locations of my own business network. And what I want to share with you today is the insight that I've learned over the last 12 years and how big brands and multi-location businesses can maximize ROI through local SEO. So we'll get started. What we're going to be discussing today is the processes necessary to achieve multi-location local SEO results, as well as managing your local business data in a single environment. And that's really a key here, is getting your content consistent in one single environment. We'll share what steps and optimizations you should take first, especially around map listings, including Google, Yahoo, and Bing, and the advantages of local listing syndication across the major data aggregators who power the local search ecosystem. And then finally, we'll talk about how to measure the effectiveness of local search efforts and measuring ROI through local SEO tactics. So we'll get started. And so what we're covering here today are the 4 steps to maximize your local return on investment. And we discussed, again, the single environment to manage and collect your local data, and then tackling the big local search directories first. And that's the key, getting Google, Yahoo, and Bing dialed in. So we'll dig deeper into that. And also digging into syndicating local data to build links and enhance user experience as consumers and buyers find your local business information online or on mobile devices. And again, measuring local SEO return on investment through measurable KPIs. So let's get started. First piece here is collecting and managing local business data. And collecting and managing local business data sounds easy to start, but if you have an IT department and a content CMS system, then you probably understand how difficult it is to get your content stored in one environment and formatted. And so we always recommend that you start with a content management system that allows you to collect local business content about your business. Everything including operating hours, your geo locators, your geo modifiers, local keyword terms, business operating hours, I think I said that already, storefront images, URLs to review sites, anything that is specific to your local business should be collected and managed in a content management system that will allow you to format it and then syndicate that information out to the ecosystem. By having the single environment and the single content management system, you're going to be ensuring that your data is accurate and consistent. So you've got to start in one environment, and that one environment will allow you to be accurate and consistent as you syndicate your content across the web. And then you want to be able to manage that local data alongside external resources, so making sure the data you have in your CMS is easily distributed off to external resources, maps, mobile applications, anywhere where your local businesses can reside on the web. So we'll go to the next slide here. So let's start with optimizing your local business data. And this is truly the key. So many people talk about claiming your listings on Google or claiming your listings on Bing, and that's fine. You need to do that, but not only claiming does not deliver the full results. You must optimize your local business content as well as just claiming it. And recently Google announced that you can now include a geo modifier or a service in your business name or business description on Google Maps. So an example that you see on the screen here now, Sports Authority San Diego or Sports Authority Sporting Goods are all acceptable naming conventions that deliver more relevancy to the user, as well as the more relevancy around the search terms that consumers may be looking for when they're looking for your brand or your service on the web or on mobile devices. Also, consistent address and local phone number is key. Making sure that you include the suite number, having the mall or the shopping center included in your address so that when people search for more general terms or more granular terms like Bed Bath & Beyond at the UTC Mall as opposed to the city of San Diego. So making sure that you have optimized, consistent address and phone number, as well as business hours. There's so many times that I've seen multi-location businesses not submit their business hours to the search engines because of the issues around trying to format the hours for each individual directory. And that's a big no-no. Everybody's looking for business hours. They want to know when you're open and where you're at. And so making sure that your business hours are updated and included in all your data feeds is another key piece of optimizing your local content. Localized descriptions to include services offered like sporting goods. Something like Sports Authority Sporting Goods in San Diego is dedicated to their customers with the best shopping experiences and the highest quality outdoor sporting goods. That description is optimized. It has local terms in it. It has the products and services that the store offers, and that's going to be the juice and the content that helps deliver Sports Authority higher rankings around the terms for the services and products they sell within their stores and within those markets. Also, brand logos, storefront images, product images. Even Google now has inside store view images where you can take pictures, or they have taken pictures for you, of inside your store to give consumers a better feel of what the business looks like inside. And then the last piece is social media links and additional local information. So, you know, your categories, your links to your Facebook Places page, maybe links to your Yelp URL where you have reviews about your business. All of that enhanced and optimized content is going to deliver a better user experience and is going to deliver higher rankings in the search engines by injecting that content into your local data. So we'll jump from optimizing your local data now to actually submitting your local data to the search engines. We've got all your content in one place. We've got it all optimized. So let's talk about how to submit and what to submit to the major search engines. So we'll talk about Google, Yahoo, and Bing Maps. And really one of the big keys here, if there's one takeaway that you get from this webinar today, is the importance of attaching a local landing page URL to your map listings. That is the highest quality user experience, and it's going to deliver your users or your searchers into your landing pages right for that particular location, as opposed to dropping them to your home page and having them have to navigate through your Finder to find the page. So we'll talk about that, and those local URLs should have mobile recognition. So many times I've experienced where I've done a brand search in a local market, and when I click on the URL from my cell phone, it delivers me to a desktop site. That desktop site's not optimized for conversion. It doesn't have the same conversion tools that a mobile user would be looking for, and so it's very important to not only attach that local landing page URL to your listings, but also make sure that URL has mobile recognition and is able to deliver a mobile experience to mobile users. We've seen mobile search traffic now surpass desktop traffic for many of the retailers that use our software. Some are at 50-50, and we've seen as much as even 70% of search traffic now coming through mobile devices. So do not ignore this piece. It is a very important piece to be able to convert and analyze consumers coming from mobile devices searching for your business. And then the last piece of that is optimizing your information for each directory. This is also another key. For example, Google may accept a 200-word description for your business description, but Bing may take 500 words. So there's not just one local business description or not just one category that works across all directories and engines. You really should get very granular and optimize and make sure that you're utilizing all the fields and all the characters available as you submit to these different search engines and directories. So we'll go with the next slide here. So we talked about the importance of injecting a local landing page URL into your map listings. And so what I'd like to make sure is that, we wanted to share with you what we've seen for both best practice and bad practice. And so the view at the top here is an example of Bed Bath & Beyond. And I think we're going to jump over to a browser and give you an example of what we consider bad practice. We'll jump over to the browser, and we'll see there that when the consumer did a search for Bed Bath & Beyond in San Diego, and they actually click on a link from the map listings, and that's where we're focused right now, it delivers them to the Bed Bath & Beyond website, where now the consumer is required to navigate through the store finder to actually find a store in San Diego. Because there's so many clicks, me as a consumer, I really just wanted the address, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit the back button, and I'm going to go back to Google because Google gave me the address. I can get the operating hours, I can get driving directions, and now I, the consumer, am interacting with Google instead of Bed Bath & Beyond's environment, because Bed Bath & Beyond delivered a user experience that wasn't optimal to the information I was looking for. So let's look at best practice. So here's an example of Sports Authority. One who you do a brand search for Sports Authority San Diego, what you'll notice is their local landing pages and their map listings are ranking there in the map pack. And when you click on Sports Authority's links, you're delivered right to their page. Now, Sports Authority has the ability to measure my traffic from search. They have the ability to measure how many people click on driving directions or may download that coupon. And so now I'm navigating and interacting in Sports Authority's environment, not the Google search results page. And that's really a big key on how to maximize and measure your ROI from local search. So we'll come back to the slide deck here. So we shared with you best practice and bad practice around map listings. So let's talk about the importance of listings and power listings on Google, Yahoo, and Bing. So many people get caught up in the details and the granularity of all the external sites like a city search or a Yelp or Craigslist or some other type of directory, even a yellowpages.com. But the recent reports show that the big three search engines account for 96% of the U.S. search traffic. So I see many clients more concerned about managing their listing on a niche directory, and yet they haven't even claimed their Bing listings or their Google listings. And so it's very important that you claim your listings and optimize your listings on the major three search engines to garner the largest amount of search traffic, and again, making sure you optimize around your local keywords, making sure that you're choosing the proper categories that are relevant to the products and services you offer, and consuming additional search real estate on the search engine results page. So if you get a second major takeaway here is claim your listings on Google, Yahoo, and Bing. So let's talk about the local search ecosystem and how to distribute your data. Now that you've optimized your content, collected it all in one environment, and syndicated it to the major search engines, let's talk about the data aggregators. And everyone now this is a hot topic around name, address, phone number, or local listing management, and around the local search ecosystem. These aggregators that you see on the screen now power just about every local search niche directory within the U.S. And so it's very important that you claim and manage your listings in the syndication to the aggregators, including InfoGroup, Newstar Localese, Axiom, and Factual. Now these aggregators not just validate and power niche directories and yellow pages, they also power mobile applications, mobile apps, mobile browsers, and help validate all of the search engine information that you may be submitting to these major search engines. So it's very important, if you have the budget, to definitely syndicate your information to InfoGroup, Newstar, Axiom, and Factual. What we found is for companies around 1,000 locations or more, The costs are minimal when it comes to local advertising, and it's about $100 a year for that entire group of aggregators. Not only will these aggregators power the mobile applications, the mobile maps, internet browsers, and social network sites, but they'll also allow you to build valid, relevant backlinks back to your local landing pages. And so the importance of that, again, is that user experience where not only are the search engines validating your optimized content, but you're driving backlinks and valuable, relevant backlinks to your local landing pages and delivering consumers right to your local landing pages from the niche directory or search engine that they may be searching for. In addition to that, these aggregators are powering all the major Yellow Page directories. So when you look at the Super Pages and yellowpages.com, City Search, or any of those other network type directories, these aggregators are a major data supplier for all of that local business content. Also GPS devices, so in-car GPS devices. If your brand or your business supports mobile users like gas stations, convenience stores, liquor stores, things like that, in-car GPSs are now becoming more and more popular as people are looking for businesses around their area. And you can even search for department stores and other types of stores in your car through your GPS device. All of those devices require a local business data set. So they acquire that business information from, again, the major data aggregators that we shared on the previous screen. Also, that information is supported to social networks. So every social network has to have a validation process and a way to collect and verify business data. If you don't communicate it to them, they have to collect it somewhere. And so Foursquare, Facebook, Yelp will all start with some type of subset of local business content that they had to acquire somewhere, and then build upon that through consumer interaction and through claiming and managing your information on behalf of the brand. So the local data validation and building hundreds and hundreds of relevant local backlinks has a huge benefit on delivering more search traffic and higher rankings on search engines and applications. So let's talk about ROIs. That's why we're here today. Everybody's measuring ROI. No marketing campaign is able to be launched without some plan around ROI. So how do we measure ROI from local SEO? Because there's so many environments, so many applications, so many browsers, so many search engines, the really truly only way to measure ROI is to make sure that that local landing page URL has conversion tools that can be measured. So let's talk about those conversion tools. Maybe it's a click-to-call analytic. Possibly it's a coupon download that you're delivering to the consumer to give them a discount on your products and services from these local landing pages. Or maybe it's a get driving directions. So that's a hard one to measure how much traffic comes from the web and walks in the store. But you can make some pretty solid assumptions that when a consumer clicks on a driving directions from a mobile search, the odds of them walking in your store are pretty good. And I know there's reports out there that have varying numbers, but what I've seen is upwards of 75% of the people actually clicking on that driving directions button are truly going to the store to purchase something or to research more in depth the product they're buying. So we recommend adding conversion tools and click activity analytics in all of your local landing pages. That local landing page URL, again, is your net. That is your user experience. You want to make sure that you inject all of your content into those pages, all of your analytics into those pages, and all of your conversion tools into your local pages to maximize measurement of local ROI. So we have a case study that is available on our website that discusses the value and the ROI from local SEO and applying these tactics to maximize local search coverage. And that is available to download from our website, untitled.com. And what I think we'd like to do next is jump into the automation of the process. So we've talked about what you should do and what you can do, but all of these tactics take time. And so automating is key. When you're handling hundreds or thousands of local businesses, openings, closings, changes of operating hours, that can be a very tedious process when you're managing spreadsheets or even spreadsheets from feeds from your IT department. So when we talk about automating local SEO, we again stress the importance of using a content management system that is designed for syndicating and optimizing local business content. I'm not talking about a CMS that is just a CMS from your IT department. I'm talking about a CMS that gives you the ability to create custom fields, custom descriptions and custom links of descriptions, and collect additional content about your business that may be out on the web, like external URLs and descriptions and review sites. Also, automating the syndication optimization. So once that CMS technology is in place and you're ready to scale, you're allowed to automate with this CMS as well. So injecting and communicating via spreadsheets or APIs really can shorten the time that you spend syndicating your local business information across the local search ecosystem. And then having hyper-local marketing capabilities, so the ability to inject a coupon or a promotion into a region or a subset of local businesses is a nice piece of automation as well. So we really stress when you get into the hundreds or thousands of locations and you choose to enact the entire blueprint of local search optimization, you must have automation or employees. And managing this process with employees can take 2, 3, 4, even 5 full-time employees focusing on this, or you can use software to do the job for you. And that's what we do at Rio SEO. We offer automated local SEO software that helps you build and manage local landing pages and automate the syndication of your content across search engines, internet yellow pages, data aggregators, and niche directories.
If you had to choose aggregators over Yelp or Yext, what would you recommend?
That's a great question, Joe, and that's a lot of people asking that question in the industry today. And I believe both Yelp and Yext are very important aggregators and very important environments to manage your brand. One of the things that does not happen when you manage with Yelp or Yext is that it does not change the content within these data aggregators. And so it's definitely a benefit to manage your information with Yelp or Yext or any external source, but the key really is to making sure that you power those data aggregators with the right information. Sending information to Yelp or Yext without powering those aggregators will leave incorrect content out there in the ecosystem coming from those data aggregators. So it's very important to use the aggregators first, and I would recommend including Yelp and Yext if your budget allows.
What social assets would you suggest for local landing pages?
Sure. So we have some examples of social assets on the local landing pages that we could share with you. Many brands choose the major players, like Sports Authority includes their local assets like Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+. What I recommend always is using as many Google assets as possible. So things like a YouTube video, Google Map, Google+. You'd be surprised how many local pages have yet to integrate the Google+ button into their pages. But you can see their Sports Authority has Facebook. They've got links off to their Twitter, Foursquare, Shopkick, Pinterest. And so they've injected quite a few of the social networks in there. I recommend them all. Anytime a new network comes out where there's millions of users on it, it's not that hard to get that button and get that link into your local pages. So I recommend as many as you can, but clearly start with the big ones, Facebook, Google+, YouTube, any of those assets.
Once you've engaged this stuff, how long does it take to see results and maximize traffic?
As with any SEO campaign, local SEO is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Many people are looking for a magic bullet, and Rome wasn't built overnight. And so we know that you can start to see results usually around 90 days after completion of building landing pages and optimizing and syndicating your listings. But they can happen quicker. But we really see things start ramping up at around between 90 and 120 days. And usually by the end of the first year, you're reaching almost maximum capacity when it comes to search traffic coming to your brand. But we've got clients on our platform 3 years, 4 years, even 5 years, and they just continue to grow because the more you do these things better, the more you communicate your relevancy and your validity to the search engines, the higher you rank and the more traffic that comes through your site. But generally, it takes about 90 days to start to see results.
Any future predictions on what you see for the industry going forward?
Sure. So there's a few future predictions or things that I see. My dream is that someday local business inventory will be injected into local landing pages, and the consumer can just ask Siri where to buy the size 12 Nike running shoe in the color orange. And so that's my dream. Someday I hope to see that. But what I'm looking for is the ability to inject real-time inventory into local business listings and have that information be live within the search engines. Show me where the closest store for the product I'm looking for.
Okay, it looks like there's a question on a data point you shared, the 96.3% of searches. The question is, how did you arrive at that number?
Sure. So that was a report that was done in the first quarter from Search Engine Land. If you can go back to that slide, there is a reference there to Search Engine Land, and that was basically I think it was a first quarter report from them that identified as those 3 major engines as the large minority or the large majority of search traffic, and there it is there. So you can check that through Search Engine Land or go to rioseo.co search engine stats, and it'll take you to that report.
What are the top aggregators in Canada?
So there are aggregators in Canada. What we've seen now is Factual and InfoUSA are the major data aggregators in Canada. But there are also Yellow Page directories and information services that power Canada. So there are others out there. But expect that international listings and even Canadian listings is on the priority radar for these aggregators, as Canada's just right across the street, and as also is a very large market for local business content.
Should each location have a Google Plus page of their own?
Absolutely, a Google Plus local page. And so the brand should have their Google Plus page, and all businesses should each have their own Google Plus local page where reviews can be made, where images can be uploaded, where descriptions can be optimized, hours modified. And so most definitely every business, every location should have their own Google Plus local landing page.
Are there any creative local SEO opportunities for national brands that don't have a physical location?
Absolutely. So brands that do not have physical locations can still deliver products and services into markets. The only way to achieve organic results on the search engines for companies that do not have a local address would be to optimize landing pages for that particular market. Now, they are not going to rank in the map pack because a map pack requires a local address, but they can rank in the organic results on the page. So creating local landing pages for your products and services that are targeted around a market or a city can help you rank for that product or service in the organic search results.
When someone does a Google search for a local business, the SERP displays the NAP data so the user may just call the business or visit the business without clicking further. How can you calculate ROI for these instances?
Sure, so that's a tough one, and that's really why we suggest that local landing page URLs are injected into your map listings. That way, if a user clicks on your link on that map, they're delivered to your landing page. The other thing you can do is you can have call analytics around those phone numbers. We've seen customers change their existing landline to a call analytics line that will still ring within the store, but gives them insight around how many calls are coming. Also, Google allows you to view impressions and click-through rates within the Google Plus local dashboard by location. Unfortunately, they do not export those analytics out through APIs or any other detailed reports other than just through the Google dashboard. So you can log into Google, you can look at the dashboard, and you can see how many impressions you've had and how many clicks that you've had to each location. With that said, again, the goal is to get them off of the search results page and into your local landing page where you can analyze and report on return on investment.
If we have over 1,000 locations and over 12,000 salespeople, each with their own web presence, is it even possible to implement a local SEO program for the salespeople?
Absolutely. That is a huge piece of optimizing for local SEO. Now, there are some traps there. With 12,000 people, that means you may have 150 agents all in one city. And if you have 150 agents all in one city, there's not enough room on the front page, so you'll end up with a little bit of fighting over who gets the top result, and that's out of your control because Google will choose. But that shotgun approach of optimizing and managing for every single agent will do nothing but bring more hooks in the water around the SERPs. And we recommend that if you've got branches, you optimize your branches, and if you've got agents, you optimize your agents as well.
Does print and physical media affect online directories?
When you say affect, it doesn't affect your ranking. But if you've got a QR code or you've got a URL, and those URLs are hit through direct links, that can actually raise your Google ranking by having more direct traffic coming to particular URLs. So there's an outside influence, but not a direct influence from print advertising.
You mentioned users going back to Google to pull all the data and info from there. Is there any way to report on users opening the local info portion within Google without clicking to your site?
Not yet. We're hoping someday that they will. Google Analytics delivers a lot of insight, but that insight comes from users once they arrive on your local pages. And until they integrate those analytics from within Google's environment, there's not. Now, there is a unknown tool, or not an unknown tool, but a little-known tool within Webmaster Tools that will allow you to see how many impressions and actually see what your average ranking is by search terms and keywords. And so I would recommend anyone that wants to get a little more information about that, make sure you've got a sitemap submitted to Google Webmaster Tools, that you've been verified, and then you can find a lot of good insight within the Webmaster Tools. Again, that information is not available through API, so you would be required to log into Webmaster Tools to see those insights.
Is there a minimum number of locations required to use your CMS dashboard?
There's a minimum for us is around 100 locations where it becomes cost effective. Now, you could use our software for 10 locations or 20 locations, but the price may not allow or may not make that affordable for you. But generally, we see our sweet spot is around 500 locations up to 10 to 20,000 locations using our software.
Looks like someone had a question they may have jumped on late. Did I miss your advice regarding what types of automation to use? Which sites specifically?
Sure. So the automation piece is through our software, the Rio's local SEO software. There is not a site that automates it or a single site that automates the processes, but many of those sites allow you to submit to them through an automated software platform. And that's what our platform does. It's one environment that allows you to manage and optimize your content and then syndicate it anywhere that will accept a feed from you. So the standard business practice now for businesses is around managing multiple spreadsheets and different font types and file types and different description types. And so we've seen many people that have done this manually spend upwards of 80% of their operating time manipulating spreadsheets to submit to different directories and search engines. What our software platform does is it simplifies it, it standardizes it, it templatizes it, and allows these spreadsheets to be exported and submitted with just a click of a button, as opposed to download, modify, format, merge, and then submit.
Are you creating Google Plus pages for your client locations?
So the Google Plus pages are created by Google. Once they are created, and that information usually comes from the data aggregators, but you can claim your pages and you can power the information on the pages through the bulk spreadsheets. And that would be Google Plus Local.
I think the Sports Authority example is great. Are there any other examples?
Sure. So examples of other customers using local landing page URLs, you can run any brand search. I've seen Rite Aid and CVS are delivering users right from their map listings into their local landing page URLs. But you can do any branded search. You can think of any restaurant or department store and add the geo modifier like the city or the mall name, and that map path will pop up, and you can literally just look at it and see. But I would say that most retailers and big brands are starting to get that, and I'm estimating probably about 50% of the major brands have got that piece figured out and are now delivering local landing page URLs from their maps.
So you update, optimize the 3 major search engines and the 4 major aggregators. Any of the other directories?
So the software will allow you to communicate your information to any directory that will accept a feed. And those relationships are established by the brand with the specific directory. So for example, Yelp works directly with the brand. You would engage with Yelp directly. You would pay Yelp directly. But our software can communicate and syndicate the information to Yelp once you've established that relationship. Many brands have relationships with yellowpages.com, and they're required to submit a bulk feed of all their location data so they can keep it updated. Our product, again, supports that feed process, the formatting of the feed, but it doesn't facilitate the relationship between Yellow Pages and the brand. It just enhances and automates that process, making it easier to communicate the information.
How would you suggest claiming large-scale listings, i.e. 5,000 plus listings?
Sure. So I would recommend 5,000 postcards sent to all your individual store managers. That's a joke. Sorry. I would recommend that only using automation and software when it comes to that amount of locations. Claiming in bulk is live and well. Google, Yahoo, and Bing will allow you to claim in bulk and verify in bulk through a branded email, through a branded account, and really the only way to claim and manage 5,000 locations is through automation and through approval of a bulk feed into those major search engines.
Is there a demo of the Rio dashboard at rioseo.com?
There is not a demo at the dashboard, but demos are available. You can reach out to us from our Contact Us page, and one of our software directors will gladly schedule a demonstration of our dashboard and of our software platform. And they're readily available for anyone that's interested in getting a deeper dive.
What's your opinion on the effectiveness of the IYP space and working with an advertising network?
So I love the IYP space. I believe anywhere your brand resides, you should be controlling the messaging, the content, the categories, the promotions. And so I recommend that if you've got budget, use it. Spend it on the directories, spend it on Yelp, spend it on Yext, spend it in the yellow pages. Get your information out there. This local search optimization, when it comes to local advertising, is the lowest cost marketing you can buy. It's cheaper than direct mail. It's cheaper than flyers. It's cheaper than email campaigns, and you're going to see the best return on investment. Retailers using our software, using the internet yellow pages, and building local landing pages are experiencing the lowest cost per click they can purchase. We've got a case study on our site about that lowest cost per click, but what I can tell you is our major retailers are averaging well below 10 cents a click for the search traffic they're garnering from our processes.
Yext uses API feeds to directly communicate with niche directories. Does the Rio SEO dashboard use similar API feeds to similar directories, but also feeds to aggregators and Google Maps?
Absolutely. I think the differentiator is our software is a template software system that can communicate through API or bulk spreadsheets. We are not in any relationship with any one aggregator or directory. Our system is a templated system that if there's an API available, our system can communicate that information through API. The difference really is that Yext does have a direct relationship with many of those niche directories, and their software platform is very exciting to view how they do that and how their real-time information can be communicated. But it doesn't address the data aggregators, and so we recommend using Yext, but we also recommend using the data aggregators. When you use Yext alone, you're not influencing those other aggregators. Yext actually works with that same group of directories that the info group, Axiom, and Localese use. So we say use it all. Use the aggregators, use Yext, use Yelp. Anywhere that you can establish a direct relationship is important to maximize your coverage.
What's the difference between a Google Plus local page and a Google Places page?
So Google has changed their name so many times, I'm not sure I could keep up with it. But it started with Google Maps, it started with Google Local, it started with Google, came to Google Places, and then Google Plus Local. And so there's a shift to standardize into a Google Plus local page, but there's also legacy dashboards and legacy pages out there. So waiting for Google to bring it all together under one umbrella. Delivering, a single environment for Plus and Plus local pages, and someday we're hoping that will be there.
What are some upcoming social networks that you would consider important for local social marketing?
Sure. So you've seen Pinterest, you've seen Facebook, and LinkedIn is a great one for businesses. You have Google Plus. You'd be surprised how many people have yet to integrate Google Plus into their local landing pages. And so you've got them, you've got Foursquare, there's also, other picture sites, but Pinterest seems to be one that's growing now, and Shopkick is definitely a good one if you're looking for deals and promotions.
Each Google local page has a URL you can add in the profile. Do you suggest adding the home page there or a specific local landing page?
Yeah, that's definitely where we recommend injecting the local landing page URL. You want the consumer to leave Google and come to your store's information page. If you drive them to the home page and force them to navigate through your Finder, then there's a chance they'll hit the back button and interact with Google to get your hours and your driving directions. So we always recommend injecting a local landing page URL in your map listings for maximizing user experience. And we've also seen that when your local landing page URLs are optimized correctly, they can influence your ranking in the maps. And there's reports out. David Mim did a report and surveyed, I think it was 20 or 30 local SEO experts. And the influence of those local pages being attached to those maps can definitely have an influence on how high you rank in the map pack.
What is the weightage Google gives to reviews on Google Places listings?
So we do not deal with Google reviews very often. The review management piece is a whole nother ecosystem around monitoring and managing. Our software is around organic optimization of local business content, not around review management.
Can I claim my Google listing using your platform?
The claiming your Google listing is a process that has to happen within Google's environment. Now, our platform will generate the feed, optimize the feed, and prepare the feed to be submitted to Google, but claiming your listings requires an account set up with Google in their dashboard and then uploading the spreadsheet or the files that we generate.
Do you have any plans to integrate Google's latest schema announcements into your local landing pages?
Absolutely. In fact, we do inject schema into our local landing pages, and each customer is different on what items they choose, but most definitely schema markup is a key piece to optimizing local landing pages. Putting that markup and those tags around local business content can only do you good. To remind everyone that we will be at the Local Search Association show here towards the end of April. We'll have a table there and some information about our company. So if you'll be attending that show at the end of the month, I would look forward to meeting anyone that would love to get more details.
Well, great. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for conducting today's webinar. We really appreciate all the info. I'd also like to thank everyone for attending today. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact us at LSA, and we can connect you with today's presenters. For more on our upcoming webinars, visit localsearchassociation.org/webinars. And as Bill mentioned, don't forget to register for the LSA 14 conference in Huntington Beach, California, with Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak. In addition to the Woz, we're looking forward to hearing from other leaders in local like Google, Comscore, YP, Bing, XAD, Jywire, and many more. Visit localsearchassociation.org for more on that. So, thanks again, everyone, and have a great day.